Excuse me, Hoss. Could you tell me what time it is? This dadgum watch of mine seems to be stuck on 6:20. You know, come to think of it, everything around here seems to be kind of stuck in time. I don't remember how the hell I got here. Last thing I remember is me and Cowboy and Hawkshaw and Randy. We was on a plane headed home after playing that benefit in Kansas City for Cactus Jack. But then, sometimes it feels like I've been up on this mountain for a mighty long time. Just kind of watching life go on all around me without me. I wish I could understand it. Those of y'all out there that know the Cline, that's me, how much I love music and how much I love singing. Hell, I've been doing it as long as I can remember, since way back in '46 when I was just 14 years old and Joltin' Jim McCoy let me sing on his radio show on WINC. It went something like this. Got a feeling called the blues, oh Lord, since the baby said goodbye. Lord, I don't know what to do. All I do is sit and sigh. Oh Lord, that last long day he said goodbye. Well, Lord, I thought I would cry. Hallelujah, he's got the kind of loving. Lord, I love to hear him when he calls me sweet. Baby, that's a beautiful dream. I hate to think it's all over. I lost my heart, it seems. Well, I've grown so used to you somehow. Well, I'm nobody's sugar baby now. Oh, I'm lonesome. I got the lovesick blues. Well, I'm in love with a wonderful guy. That's what's the matter with me. I'm in love with a wonderful guy, but he don't care about me. Well, I tried and I tried to keep him satisfied, but he just wouldn't stay. And now that he is leaving, this is all that I can say. I got a feeling called the blues, oh Lord, since my baby said goodbye. Lord, I don't know what to do. All I do is sit and sigh. Oh Lord, that last long day he said goodbye. Well, Lord, I thought I would cry. He'll do me, he'll do you. He's got the kind of loving. Lord, I love to hear him when he calls me sweet. Baby, such a beautiful dream. I hate to think it's all over. I lost my heart, it seems. Well, I've grown so used to that man somehow. I'm nobody's sugar baby now. Got lonesome. I got the lovesick blues. Yeah, I've got the lonesome. I've got the lovesick blues. Who'd have known that 14 years after that, I'd be on the record singing that very same song. You know, it's kind of funny. I hear tell that they call this place Fatty Bottom. Hoss, you reckon it's some kind of crazy twist of fate that a girl like me has been stuck here for who knows how long? For as long as I can remember, I'd done everything I could to try to get folks to hear me singing. Besides old Joltin' Jim, I remember 6 years ago when me and my mom, we convinced the folks over at the Arthur Godfrey show that my mom was my manager and that she wasn't my mom, so as I could get a chance to sing on his show. We pulled it off, and people loved it. Pretty crazy for just a little old pop song, eh? They said the applause was so loud that it dang near broke their applause meter. Here's the song I sung. go out walking after midnight, out in the moonlight, just like we used to do. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you. I walk for miles along the highway. Well, that's just my way of saying I love you. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you. I stopped to see a weeping willow crying on his pillow. Maybe he's crying for me. And as the skies turn gloomy, the night winds whisper to me, I'm lonesome as I can be. I go out walking after midnight, out in the moonlight, just hoping you may be somewhere out walking after midnight, searching for me. I stopped to see a weeping willow crying on his pillow. Maybe he's crying for me. And as the skies turn gloomy, night winds whisper to me, I'm lonesome as I can be. I go out walking after midnight, out in the starlight, just hoping you may be somewhere out walking after midnight, searching for me. Later on that year, that tune right there made it all the way up the charts to number 2. You ever notice how folks seem to love hearing about somebody else's drama? Oh yeah, they'll swear that they're blue in the face, that they hate drama, but let the neighbor's daughter get knocked up, or your best friend's husband get caught carrying on down at Millie's bar with some hussy, and they're all over it like stink on, well, I think you know what I mean. Anyway, that's what I love about this next song. It made it way up the chart, but I just love the way that it got folks talking about me and my old man. They'd be whispering amongst themselves, you know, he slaps her around some, or I heard that they both step out on each other. They're headed for divorce. Well, I'm not here to confirm or deny anything, but I will sing you a real pretty song. Cigarettes in an ashtray, my love and I in a small cafe, till a stranger came along and everything went wrong. Now there's 3 cigarettes in an ashtray. I watched her take him from me, and his love is no longer my own. Now they are gone, and I sit alone and watch one cigarette burn away. I watched her take him from me. Excuse me, Hoss? Could you tell me what time it is? This dadgum watch of mine seems to be stuck on 6:20. From then till around 2 years ago, I didn't get played on the radio too much, but then I started hearing about how everybody was having hit singing songs written by this new writer in town, some guy named Willie Nelson. You heard of him? Yeah, well, anyways, I told my manager I wanted me a Willie song of my own, and he pitches me this song called Crazy. Huh. After giving it a listen and trying to sing it a couple dozen times, I started thinking I was going crazy trying to sing this dad-burned song. I mean, he don't sing it on the beat. He waits till the last possible minute to belt out a line. There was just no way I could sing that song like that. I was this close to tossing that song in the trash when Owen tells me, "Don't sing it like Willie, sing it like the Cline." Well, I thought about that for a mighty long time. Then I just closed my eyes and I tried to put myself in the situation of that song. They turned on that tape recorder, and as much as I hate to admit it, Owen was on to something. After that, I fell in love with this song. And, I guess a lot of other people did too. It made it all the way up to number 2. By the way, did you all know that Willie wrote the first line of that tune and he called it stupid instead of crazy? Crazy, I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy, crazy for feeling so blue. I love me as long as you wanted, and then someday you leave me for somebody new. Worry, why do I let myself worry? Wondering what in the world did I do? Crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. And crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you. Crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm stupid for trying and stupid for crying, and I'm stupid for loving you. Speaking of great songwriters, 2 of Nashville's greatest got together to write this next tune. That's Hank Cochran and Harlan Howard. I was so proud to be singing one of their songs. Not only did this tune make it all the way up the country charts, it actually crossed over to the pop charts too. And back in the day, if you don't mind me saying so, that was quite an accomplishment. Especially for an old broad like me. Here's Hank and Harlan's song. after that, me and Hank, we got to be pretty good friends. I remember he called me up one night and told me he wrote my next #1 hit. I told him to come over to the house with a bottle of hooch and play it on the guitar for me and Dottie West. She was over my house visiting. And I was so blown away by the lyrics, and I loved that song so much that I learned it that very night. I even called up both my manager and my producer to sing it to them over the phone. At my very next recording session, I recorded it. And I had to kind of laugh because me and Owen, we often disagreed about what songs I was going to sing. But this time, we both agreed that we had a hit. Here's that song. I've got your picture that you gave to me, and it's signed with love, just like it used to be. The only thing different, the only thing new. I've got your picture, she's got you. I've got the record that we used to share, and they still sound the same as when you were here. The only thing different, the only thing new. I've got the record, she's got you. I've got your memory, or has it got me? I really don't know, but I know it won't let me be. I've got your class ring that proved you cared, and it still looks the same as when you gave it, dear. The only thing different, the only thing new. I've got these little things, she's got you. I've got your memory, or has it got me? I really don't know, but I know I've got your class ring that proved you cared, and it still looks the same as when you gave it, dear. The only thing different, the only thing new. I've got these little things, she's got you. Excuse me, Hoss, could you tell me what time it is? This dadgum watch of mine seems to be stuck on 6:20. You know, there's tons of singers who never had the privilege of singing even one song by the legendary Harlan Howard. And this old gal from Winchester, Virginia, was lucky enough to record several of that man's incredible tunes. Later on, I made it to the top 10 again with a fun little tune by Harlan. It's called When I Get Through With You. I sure hope you like hearing it as much as I like singing it. You think you love Sue, but when I get through with you, you won't ever look at Sue again. I'm gonna be so good to you, I'm gonna love you my whole life through. Pretty soon you'll you'll feel the same. You won't even know her name. I'll give you kisses that she can't beat. I'll treat you so nice and sweet. When I get through with you, you'll love me true, ah, true. When I get through with you, you'll love me true. I'm gonna treat you so sweet and kind. I'll drive her right out of your mind, and you won't know her if you meet. Walk right by her on the street, because I want you, I need you so. Poor Susie will have to go. When I get through with you, you'll love me true, ah, true. When I get through with you, you'll love me true. I'm gonna be so good to you. I'll love you my whole life through. Pretty soon you'll feel the same. You won't even know her name. I'll give you kisses that she can't beat. I'll treat you so nice and sweet. When I get through with you, you'll love me true, ah, true. When I get through with you, you'll love me true, not true. When I get through with you, you'll love me true, ah, true. You know, when Carl Perkins and Danny Dill and Mel Tillis got together last year to write this next tune, I got a sneaking suspicion that they had what you call our ulterior motives. Oh, sure, they wrote a really great song, and it made it all the way up to number 14 on the charts. But what I really think they were up to is they just wanted to hear the Cline saying over and over again that I was wrong. Now that is just wrong. But you know, this old gal got her last laugh all the way to the bank. I've been so wrong for so long. Thought I couldn't live without the love that you give. I was wrong, oh, so wrong. I've been so wrong for so long. I didn't know that I love you so. I was wrong. Well, I never knew I could want you, darling, oh, so much. Now that you're gone, I dream of you and your sweet touch. I was so darling, I'll make it right. I was wrong. Well, I never knew I could want you, darling, oh, so darling, I'll make it right. I was wrong. Excuse me, Hoss. Could you tell me what time it is? This dadgum watch of mine seems to be stuck on 6:20. Just a couple months ago, we went back into the studio to work on the next album, Faded Love. There was just something kind of strange and foreboding about those sessions. I can't put my finger on it, but I remember after doing the vocals on songs like Sweet Dreams and Faded Love, I just bawled my eyes out. Owen and the guys, of course, they blamed it on hormones, but it just felt like more than that to me. I remember earlier I was saying that, it feels like I've been up here forever, just kind of watching life go on around me without me. Well, it's the dangest thing. I remember going to a party Decca Records had when Sweet Dreams hit number 5, and it was looking like it may go all the way to number 1. But what's weird about it is that I remember that party was on April 27th, and today it's only March 5th, right? I don't know. It's almost like I'm having a sweet dream myself. Would somebody please tell me what time it is? Sweet dreams of you every night I go through. Why can't I forget you and start my life anew instead of having sweet dreams about you? You don't love me, it's plain. I should know I'll never wear your ring. I should hate you the whole night through instead of having sweet dreams about you. Sweet dreams of you, things I know can't come true. Why can't I forget the past, start loving someone new instead of having sweet dreams about you? Leaving on Your Mind was another song we worked on during those sessions. I don't know what it was, but when I was singing that song there in that studio, I felt like I was pouring my heart and soul into every single word. I felt like I was singing like this was gonna be the last time I ever sung. Huh, who knows? Maybe it was just hormones. Or maybe Wayne Walker and Webb Pierce just really know how to write a song that just gets you right down to your soul. If you've got leaving on your mind, tell me now, get it over. Hurt me now, get it over. If you've got leaving on your mind, if there's a new love in your heart, tell me now, get it over. Hurt me now, get it over. If there's a new love in your heart, don't leave me in a world filled with dreams that might have been. Hurt me now, get it over. I may learn to love again. If there's a new love in your heart, tell me now, get it over. Hurt me now, get it over. If there's a new love in your heart, hurt me now, get it over. If there's a new love in your heart. Okay, let's pick up the tempo just a little bit before I bore you all to tears. I'm sure you heard of a good old boy from Texas by the name of Bob Wills, right? Yeah, I thought so. He's only the king of Western swing. Well, Owen and the other folks at Decca decided I need to put my voice on his song, Faded Love. And I'm so glad they did. I had a blast making that record. We had just the right combination of pickers, and the mix was just perfect. And it turned out even better than I could ever imagined. But, you know, I'm starting to think that it's my brain that's fading. I had another one of them strange dreams about this song. We were all celebrating and whooping it up, and when it made to the top 10, but that was 1967? I look at the letters that you wrote to me, it's you that I am thinking of as I read the lines that to me were so dear. I remember our faded love. I miss you, darling, more and more every day, as heaven would miss all the pleasures we had as I watched the mating of the dove. It was in the springtime that you said goodbye. I remember our faded love. I miss you, darling, more and more every day, as heaven would miss the stars above. With every heartbeat, I still think of you and remember our faded love, and remember our faded love. Well, I can't quite explain it, but I get this feeling that it's about time for me to be moving on. Like a moth buzzing around a flame, I feel somehow drawn to that beautiful white light behind me. But before I go, I just want to send out a big old country thank you for spending a little time with me here tonight. Most times it's awful lonely up here on this mountain. I'll leave you with the last song I ever recorded for that Faded Love album. Somehow it just seems kind of appropriate. We've been sweethearts for so long, but now you say with the room, the love we shared is now a memory. I have built a ship of dreams and planned them all for you, but now I guess what is to be will be. And I'll sail my ship alone with all the dreams I own, drifting out across the ocean blue. Yes, I'll sail my ship alone, though all the sails have told. And when it starts to sink in, I'll blame you. Now I gave a message to the wind to take back home to you, hoping you would hear my SOS. I thought that you would come back home, my darling, if you knew how much my aching heart was in distress. When I'll sail my ship alone with all the dreams I own, drifting out across the ocean blue. Yes, I'll sail my ship alone, though all the sails have told. And when it starts to sink in, I'll blame you. Well, I'll sail my ship alone with all the dreams I own, drifting out across the ocean blue. Yes, I'll sail my ship alone, though all the sails you've told. And when it starts to sink in, I'll blame you. Yes, and when it starts to sink in, I'll blame you. Excuse me, Hoss. Could you tell me what time it is? This dadgum watch of mine seems to be stuck on 6:20.